The robots of the cartoons and movies of the 1970s are going to be the reality of the 2020s. And on the topic of artificial intelligence, machine learning, and robotics, everybody's talking about it, but it's difficult to understand what is real, how it relates to your businesses, how your competition is going to use it, and how you might be able to integrate it into your workplace. The first thing I would point out is that artificial intelligence is not entirely one thing. And I think it's important, and one thing we can discuss are the 10 to 12 different forms of artificial intelligence and the ways in which those do and do not relate to your work. I think it's also important to understand what is driving increasingly powerful artificial intelligence and the computing power behind it. If, for example, you don't understand cloud computing, in many respects it's difficult to understand how AI can be as powerfully applied as it can be today. I mean, I remember, for example, when I was doing research for my book, The Industries of the Future, I spoke with the CEO of Foxconn. Foxconn is the company that makes all of our Samsung and Apple devices for us. And he told me, he said, "Alec, I have 970,000 employees. I'm sick of humans." And what he did is, in one day, he fired 60,000 human beings and replaced them with 12,000 Delta robots. And that is because in his massive football field-sized factories in coastal China, what he's figured out and what Foxconn has figured out is how cloud-enabled, AI-driven robotics can bring in an entirely new wave of automation and efficiency in today's manufacturing. Now that's a little bit scary when you think of it. And it is true that one of the things that artificial intelligence, machine learning, and robotics enable is the substitution of labor that isn't just manual and routine, the work of, people with big, strong shoulders moving things from one place to another. What today and tomorrow's artificial intelligence is enabling is the kind of labor we tend to think of as being cognitive and non-routine. In the most sophisticated applications right now, AI seems almost to be thinking as it does non-routinized tasks. And whether you are working in agriculture, in automotive, in fashion, in manufacturing, in ports and shipping, whatever it is, there is some application of artificial intelligence that is relevant to your enterprise. Now, some people take a very dystopian view of all of this very powerful artificial intelligence and robotics. I don't take the utopian view of it, but I do take a long-term view that's rooted in the fact that over the whole of humanity, since humans walked on planet Earth, we've continually automated our labor. And what humans have been able to do are higher and better forms of labor. So this will present challenges, but in a world where you go to work and one of two things are happening. Either you're telling a machine what to do, or a machine's telling you what to do. I think that our workers, I think that what we all want is to be on the side of the humans telling the machines what to do. And in the most sophisticated enterprises of the 2020s and 2030s, we're going to see business leaders driving those kinds of solutions into their enterprises. Even as I speak to you today, I'm sort of a cyborg. I'm part human, I'm part technology. This is only increasing in a world of COVID and post-COVID. All of us human beings are increasingly relying on technology to enable our work. A lot of what we're doing is very human, but a lot of it is also fairly technological. And a lot of what I'm seeing right now in labor with the application of artificial intelligence and big data is surprising. I'll give you an example from a dairy farm, a cattle farm that I visited. I was talking to a group of farmers who explained to me that they learned how to farm from their from their fathers and grandfathers, and they knew everything there was about dairy cattle and about beef. But what they wanted was to understand if they could export more efficiently using some of this new technology that was out there that they didn't really understand. And what did they do? They partnered with a university and with a software company, and they developed a very powerful application that sort of merges GPS, laser technology, and AI, so that in these huge fields with these hundreds and oftentimes thousands of heads of cattle, what they were able to get were incredible analytics that helped them know where and how to work with a level of precision that their fathers and that their grandfathers didn't have. So where they may previously have said, oh, it's Monday, it's time to put out the fertilizer, or it's Tuesday, it's time to irrigate, or it's Wednesday, it's time to put out more feed in the paddock. What these data analytics provided to the farmer was to say, you know what, you don't need to put the fertilizer out on Monday, and you don't need to put it all over the fields, but here are the very specific parts of the field that you need to put the fertilizer on, and this is the exact phosphorus nitrogen mix you need in each of those fields. Don't just irrigate because it's Tuesday. No, these are the specific days, and these are the specific times, and these are the specific places where you should be irrigating. Don't just put more feed in the paddock because it's Wednesday and put it out there for all the cows. No, these are the places of feed deficits. What did this mean? It meant massively less waste. It meant 70% less water being used. And it meant foreign exports increased by 498%. So this was a very traditional industry, rooted in hundreds of years of family history. But by willing to open your mind a little bit, by being willing to partner with a university and a software company, they were able to grow more efficient and export in a way that their fathers and grandfathers couldn't have dreamed of. This is a lot of how I think of Italy. Taking very traditional industries and then just bringing a little bit of innovation into it, a little bit of technology tools into it. It's not about surrendering to the technology. It's almost about making the technology surrender to you and to your goals.